What was the weirdest rumor you've ever heard about yourself? That I died. I crashed my motorcycle and no one could contact me for a bit. I got out of the hospital and I had a bunch of memorial messages posted on my Facebook. A lot of people from my old high school thought I died or vanished when I was hospitalized in junior year, and then switched to a credit recovery program at night for senior year. Apparently this is because whenever anyone asked my younger brother what happened to me, he would shrug and make an "I don't know" noise. He doesn't love strangers or sharing personal info. I was overweight as a kid. After sophomore year, I decided I wanted to lose weight and be more athletic. Spent the whole summer exercising and eating healthy, and I lost about 40 pounds. Came back to start junior year, and after a week I had heard that I was dying of AIDS and cancer. Somebody who I went to elementary school with told me that they thought I was so tall as a kid because they thought my mom had died when I was a young age, and somehow I turned the grief into size. My mom is still alive and well, FYI. A girl who I thought was a friend spread a rumor that I was a lesbian, and she saw me firsthand kissing another girl. What she really saw was me in a public washroom with a friend who had too much to drink. I was holding her hair and rubbing her back as she puked in a sink. To her that looked like making out. I come to school on the Monday, and everyone thinks I am a lesbian, and came out over the weekend. When I called the former friend out, she tried to backtrack and offered to buy me a pack of smokes to call it even. I don't smoke. So needless to say that friendship was over, and almost 20 years later I run into old classmates who are shocked that I am married to a guy because they were for sure certain I was a lesbian. That I was pregnant and my parents had disowned me. I hadn't even had sex yet. I moved away for university and talked to my mom weekly, if not more. I guess my grade and needed some gossip fodder, and my name popped up. She didn't realize she was talking to my friend's mom. My grandma, her sister, wound up calling my mom crying, thinking I was pregnant and alone thousands of miles away from anybody. When I was 12, the neighborhood Avon lady came by to drop off my mom's order one day. Avon lady told her that she had heard I had slept with all of my guy friends, including her son. She also refused to tell my mom who she had heard this rumor from. I lost my virginity at 20 LOL. I was working as a welder for a prominent artist in NYC. After a long day of welding, I was covered in soot, and had caught on fire a few times that day, so was looking very ragged. I ran into an old high school friend, who I hadn't seen in years. This is pre-internet, so no Facebook, etc. We talked a bit, discussed the upcoming 10-year reunion, said our goodbyes and moved on. I did not attend the reunion, but about 5 years later I ran into another old friend who was amazed I was able to climb out of the gutter and get my life together. As it happens, my friend went to the reunion and reported I was homeless and destitute, covered in filth, and living on the street. That I had gotten married and had 4 kids and a 5th on the way. This was being circulated by a guy I hadn't seen in several years. I've never been married or pregnant. Unbeknownst to me, something was going around in high school about me dying from cancer. Became a big thing, and the principal eventually called my parents about it, since the school needed to know if they had a sick student or something. Obviously they didn't know what he was talking about because I wasn't sick, and eventually had to have a meeting in the principal's office about it later that day. I walk in after being called down, and they ask me why I'm pretending to be sick. I was floored at first because this was the first time I was hearing about this rumor. Had to convince them that I didn't know what they were talking about. That I am gay. This was started by a couple ladies who worked for me. They were aware that I am married to a woman, and we have a son. They refused to accept that I was straight because I didn't flirt with them, or any other woman. I found it hilarious then, and it's still hilarious now. When I was a kid, one of my cousins spread the rumor that I sacrificed puppies to Satan. Everyone in the family believed her, including my own mom, but no one ever confronted me about it or tried to investigate or get me help. They just stopped inviting me to family gatherings or getting me birthday presents. Also, I had a puppy at the time, and she was healthy and alive. So, where was I getting these puppies? Also, we were Jewish atheists, so we doubly don't believe in Satan. Years later, said cousin is under investigation for multiple homicides. New manager at my old job told people I was a racist for not introducing myself to her in a timely manner. She's black and white. She had a habit of calling a lot of people racist though, so no one took her seriously. I moved away from my hometown during the summer between 7th and 8th grade. Only a couple friends even knew I was going to be moving. But I came back a year later to visit family, and saw some friends, and they said they heard that I had killed my parents, and then disappeared. Kinda crazy what kids would think up. My brother came out as gay when we were both in high school. Our shitty, religious aunt found out and sent a letter to our home about a gay reprogramming camp. She suggested both my brother and I get sent because I was probably gay, too. I'm a woman, had the same high school boyfriend for 3 years at that time, and am currently married to a man. I have no idea why she thought I was gay, other than maybe her dumbass thinks being gay is contagious. I was out of school for a week in the 3rd grade, and by the end of that week I was getting lots of voicemails on our home phone from classmates, friends, and parents of friends saying that they hope I get better. One call included my best friend sobbing about how much she loved me and that she's heard I'm not going to make it. I had head lice. My mom called the school and just said that I would be gone for medical reasons. 3rd graders come up with some pretty extreme conclusions, my dude. That I was going to sue my employer in order to pay for gender reassignment surgery. I guess mine weren't too weird, but they just pissed me off. In high school, the rumor that I was gay went around. That was false. In 8th grade, someone asked me what church I went to. They had never heard of an Episcopal church, so Ines labeled a Satanist for a while. I was a supervisor for a while and had to tell an employee not to gossip about her peers. She started telling people I repeatedly hit her in the arm and the back for no reason. HR got involved. Couldn't find evidence for or against her claims, so we both got written up. And lastly, but not leastly, I was diagnosed with cancer a few years ago. Chemo, bald scans, the whole 9 yards. One of my employees at the time told people I was faking the whole thing just to get out of work. I was pretending to be sick for sympathy. My epilepsy medicine causes me to have red eyes and look tired, especially in mornings. Pair that with my early high school times back in the day and riding bus 420. Apparently I was the big drug dealer of my high school. 2 years after I graduated high school, some kid informed me that I was a legend for swapping my faculty-approved graduation speech out with a shockingly rebellious address instead. Except the speech I gave went through the approval process and went off without a hitch. The speech was pretty mundane. It just leaned more toward, "Okay, we're finished here, now time to get real shit done," instead of the checklist of religious references and sugary nostalgia that were the usual standard. One of my friends convinced the majority of the 7th grade that I had a pet camel I kept in my shed. One of the younger kids told me I was mean for not bringing it to school. Do you have a similar story? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.